Hello everyone. Welcome to Feather Song Crochet, or welcome back. I'm Lynn, and today we're going to make a pickle keychain. This is a total beginner tutorial, so stay tuned and we're going to get right to that. But first I have a couple things to mention. If you could please hit the like and subscribe and comment button, and please comment on anything today. If you have any questions, I'm going to go through each step by step on how to make this. But please comment or question below. Also, I'm still giving away a t-shirt at the end of the month, hopefully the end of February, if I get my 1,000 subscribers, we'll see. And comment below on what makes you a crochet nerd. Stay tuned till the end of the video because I will be giving my weekly pro tip for decreasing hand pain. All right, so let's get started on our pickle. My first amigurumi toy I made was Bubble the Catster from Elise Rose Crochet. I'll put a picture of it up here. And I also learned how to do the magic ring from her, which it's not hard, but it took me a while to learn it. I tried and tried, and I was like,
okay, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
got my 3.5 millimeter hook. Okay, so to start your magic ring, magic circle, you could lay the yarn across your hand. Bring it around. You want to leave a little tail here. Bring it around. Cross here in your palm. Put your thumb on it. Bring it around the front of your hand. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, you got this. You're going to bring it around, hold it, cross over, and then hold it with this side of your thumb. Okay, second step is you could take your hook, slide it underneath the first piece of yarn, grab that one, pull it up and over, and then slide over to this piece of yarn. Grab that and pull that through your little hoop. Now sometimes you have to take it off if it's too tight, if that loop is too tight. But basically that's what you're doing. Okay, so now once we got that, you're ready to start your amigurumi project. Now, this is my little design for this pickle, so I just kind of made this up as I went along. We're going to do 6 single crochet in the magic ring. Actually, your tail and your loop should kind of be together. We're going to go in, grab your yarn just like a single crochet, and pull up. And then you single crochet. Okay, ready to try that again? You're going to go down instead of like, you're going to pretend this is into the stitch for single crochet. Into the stitch, get your yarn, pull it up. You have this. You're going to single crochet. That's 2. Okay, again, here's your loop. You're going to come down, grab it. It's a little bit tricky to hold at first, but you will get it. That's 3. Now I am going to say with chenille yarn, with any kind of plushy yarn, the next step is going to be tricky, a little tricky, but I will show you there when we get there. Okay, I think this is 5, but just know this is easier with a thinner yarn. Okay, last one. Under, grab it, and okay, so you should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep your hook in the loop, and you're going to pull the tail. You're going to pull that tail, and this is going to turn into a little ring, this part here. As you pull, it's going to go right into a little ring. Isn't that cute? You see that? Okay, there's your magic ring. Now, The next row, we're going to start right, get a focus here, right in this first stitch, and we're going to place 2 single crochets in the first stitch. That's called an increase when you put 2 in the same stitch. Okay, you ready? This first row is the hardest because you really gotta dig it in there. First stitch, and make sure you're using your working yarn, not your tail. I've done that before. We're going to put one, 2. Okay, so that's my first increase. Second one, I'm going to go 1. Hope you can see this. And 2. Same stitch. Okay, and then we're going to go in the third stitch here. 1. Whoopsie. 2 in that stitch. Then let's try this one. I think this is stitch number 4, and you're going to have to count your stitches after each row, especially in the beginning, to make sure you have all your stitches in there. And I think this is number 6 right here. Let's see. Under that stitch. Make sure you go under the stitch like a single crochet. Pull it. Second one. Pull it. Okay. Okay, let's count. Blurry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was a little hard to show on camera, but and pull in that tail to get it nice and snug in the middle. Okay, there's our row 1. That's 12. Now, you're going to use your stitch marker to do the next row because you have to know where you begin and end. Okay, what I like to do is start my first increase and then put the stitch marker in the last stitch of the row. Some people do the first one and put it in the first stitch of the row. So it's up to you, as long as you're consistent throughout. So the next row is going to be 2 singles and an increase. So we're going to go 1 single. Again, it's kind of hard to get that little bugger in there. And then I place my stitch marker in this, the last stitch of that second row. Okay, it's going to go right in there. And I like these locking ones because they don't come out. You can also use another color piece of yarn or those circular stitch markers. I happen to like these. Okay, so 2 singles and an increase. That's 1, 2, and then an increase. So that's in, crease. So you're going to do that all the way around. You're going to have, so I did a single stitch, and an increase. It's kind of hard to tell, but there are 2 in there. You have to keep count, keep track. Okay, so then we're going to go single, single, and increase. An increase is just basically 2 stitches, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Okay, I'll meet you back around here at the stitch marker. Okay, I made a mistake. It's actually 15 you're going to have around. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that was 2 singles and increase for that row. The next row, you're going to do 4 single crochets and an increase. That should hopefully give us 20. Let's check it out. 1, and then I'm going to place my stitch marker at the end of that last row. See, my hook is in the first stitch of this row, and this is the last stitch of the last row. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, in, crease, 2 stitches in 1, and then do that again, 4 and an increase, 4 and an increase, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, that turned out to be 18, so that's fine. So we're going to do 18. So now we're going to do, let's take this tail, and we're just going to kind of stuff it inside the pickle bottom. Get in there, get out of the way for a minute so you can see how it's going to look. Okay, so now we have 18 stitches. Now we're just going to go around 10 times. 1, 2, 3, okay? And I will meet you back when you're done with that. So you should have 18 stitches all the way around. Make sure to use your stitch marker to mark each row. Okay, I have finished row through row 14. And if you lose track of your rows, I just write mine down and count them. You can use a row counter or one of those punch counters, whatever you like. But you just count the rows. Here's the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I've got 14 rows. Now we're going to place the eyes, the safety eyes, between rows 12 and 13. Okay, here's row 12, 13, I'm sorry, between 13 and 14. Okay, I did forget to mention that this yarn weight is a 4 and it recommends a 5.5 millimeter hook. With amigurumi, I always go down 2 hook sizes. If that's a little bit too tight for you, then you could go down 1.5 hook sizes. Okay, so here's my safety eyes. And honestly, people, this is going to be the hardest part, is getting the safety eyes in, because they are, I need to buy some better ones, because the backs of these are really hard to get in. In fact, I think these are my 6 millimeter eyes. They're real tiny. I might go a size up. I also have these pretty colored eyes here that are really gorgeous. I've got blue and pinks and golds. But I think for this pickle, I think we're going to give him just plain little black eyes. Okay. Okay, you want to determine what you want to be the front of your pickle and the back. Usually, where you start and begin the rows, I count as the back. Because see, I have kind of a big hole here that didn't get tightened up well enough. So I use my front as the best looking side. So let's put our eyes right about here. There's one. And you want to place them first to make sure they look pretty good. They're about 3 stitches apart. And poke them in there before you put the backs on, because you will never get those backs off. So make sure you got the eyes where you like them. That looks pretty cute. Okay, so that's between rows 12 and 13. Okay, let's get these backs in. There are tools to help you get these little backs on, but I've never tried those. I just use my finger strength, which I don't have much of, but sometimes my daughter helps me. So you put them with the big side facing down into the material. Okay, so I'm going to get you on here, right on the back, and just squeeze. There we go. Let's see how they look. Oh, aren't they cute? Haha. Okay, now time to add some polyfill. Now that edge of the tail, I tuck down in the bottom there. Instead of cutting it off or weaving it in, I just tuck it in. Okay, let's add some polyfill. At this point, you can fill him about 3/4 of the way full. And we can get the very end of it at the end. Well, maybe a little bit more than 3/4 full. Okay, so now we're going to start decreasing our stitches. So let's begin. Okay, to decrease a stitch, it's a little bit harder than an increase. We're going to do 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now to decrease, this is actually called an invisible decrease. And you're going to catch your next stitch, just the front loop. So see how every stitch, you guys know this, it looks like a V. You're going to catch that front loop of the next stitch and the front loop of the second stitch. And then just single crochet, pull it over and in, and see how I kept my thumb where the next stitch is, because sometimes it's hard to tell, but this is what we just worked. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and then let's decrease again. Okay, front loop only. So, okay. Front loop the next 2 stitches. Hold your thumb so you know where to go in the next stitch. Single crochet, pull it through those 2 and through that. Great. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to decrease one more time. Take out my marker here so I can show you one more time. Front loop only. Front loop and front loop. Pull them together, and we're going to let's just do one more to start our next row. Okay, let's count and see how many we have. Okay, that left us with 14 stitches around the top, and you can see how that kind of got smaller. So as we go up a couple more rows, he's going to look like the bottom. So now this row, we're going to do 2 and a decrease. Okay, now at this point we have 8 around the top, doing a single crochet and a decrease, a single crochet and a decrease. So we now have about 8 stitches at the top. Now we're going to finish stuffing our little guy here. Now, as you can see, that's a little bit tight to get through. You can use, let me show you what I use, a little chopstick thingy. These actually come in the bag of polyfill, which I have here on the floor. You get your bag of polyfill, and you will find one of these little chopstick thingies in each bag. So I use that to push in the rest of my stuffing before we do the last row. Okay, now at this point, you're going to cut off the tail here. Give yourself about a foot, I'd say. Cut that off. Take your tapestry needle. You're going to pull this through, okay? Then thread your needle. Okay, so what you're going to do now, keep going the same way you were. You're going to get the front loop of all these stitches on top here. Just catch the front loop, just like you did to decrease your stitch, but you're just going through the front loop and pulling gently. And then I'm going to show you what happens here at the end. I think that's 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so you're going to pull, and voila, it closes up. Now to hide the end of this yarn, just go back through the top. See, once you pulled it, formed another little magic circle here. So just put it through one of these holes. Don't go back in through the middle. Here's a spot. You can put it right in here. And then I always kind of poke mine out the back somewhere. So just bring it, find one of your bigger holes there, bring it through. And then we're going to cut that. Okay, there. And if you need to push it in a little bit, you can kind of poke it in a little bit, but it won't show. Okay, now we're going to embroider his little mouth right about here. If you don't want to use embroidery thread, you can also use just black yarn. If you wanted to, just a thin black yarn. Maybe if you have something a little thinner than a 4. I usually use embroidery thread, but you can use whatever you like. Okay, so we're going to make our little V mouth right here. And I usually go in through the back and come out at the bottom of where you want your mouth. And then you need to hold down in the back. I cut about 1 foot. Hold down in the back so it doesn't move. And go through. Okay, then you're going to go through the top here and bring it across on the other side. Now watch. Okay. And then now you want to go from here back to here and out through the back. Okay. There's his cute little smile and the adorbs. And then what you can do is from the back here, all you got to do is tie this in a couple knots, stuff it back in, and all you got to do is add the keychain. Okay, snip, and then just poke that in. I didn't snip it enough. Snip. And you can use whatever kind of keychain you like. The kind I have right now, they're a little bit hard to attach. So let me get this in here. Hold on. That might be too big. Get in there. Get in there, you. There we go. Get that off of there. Okay. There he is. There's your little pickle. And he's ready to get the top of the keychain in his head. I really don't have a tutorial for that because it's just, you might have to like add a little jump ring to your keychain depending on what kind you get. I'm going to start buying those kind that are just, I'll try to put a picture of it here, just a bunch of little beads that you can go through and do it that way. Okay, there's your pickle. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Stay tuned for pro tips on decreasing hand pain. All right. Thank you for staying to the end. I hope you enjoyed making the pickle. Let me know how yours turned out. And if you have any comments or questions below, please like and subscribe if you can. As I've said in my other videos the past few weeks, I'm a retired occupational therapist, and I've worked with lots of people with hand pain. My tip for today is about wrist pain, more about wrist pain. If you guys have not seen these braces, they're called resting hand braces, or it might be called a wrist cock-up splint, a resting hand splint. And they are helpful. Now, the trick is you can't work while you have these on. They're for resting. And so if you buy these kind, make sure it has a metal stay or some kind of stiff part here, because your wrist should be in a little bit of extension. Not like this, not neutral, a little bit in extension. Okay, keep those. You could wear them through the night. You could wear it just a few hours during the day, take it off, you know, stretch your hand out a little bit, and then start crocheting again, see if it helps. They have helped a lot of people. Personally, I don't have wrist pain. I've never used them, but I've seen them work for a lot of people. So good luck with that. Otherwise, I guess I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.